Hey crafty friends, it's KC with Create with KC. I'm so happy that you are joining me today, and I appreciate you viewing my YouTube channel and watching this video. If you like the content and you want to order the products that I share today, please use my affiliate link. It's down in the description below. I do get a small commission if you order from that affiliate link. This allows me to keep bringing you content and keep showing you what I love to do. Today we are going to use some products by Altenew, and we've got a stamp set and we've got some stencils, and we're going to do some ink blending. So let me change my cameras around and we'll get started. So what we are going to use today is, I believe this is March Garland Grace Build a Garden subscription. And what this is, they have many subscriptions that you can join. I like this one because you get a huge full-size stamp set. You get stencils to color the stamp set, and they also give you a blending brush. You will get a new blending brush every month, which will help you build your collection. These are really good blending brushes. I do love these. So this stamp set looks like it's pretty universal because you've got congratulations, you've got happy anniversary, you've got happy birthday down here, you've got thank you, a large sentiment that says friend, and you've got this beautiful flower spray here with some leaves and some tiny little flowers. And inside this stamp set, they give you a project card, and that project card gives you these panels here, which you actually could glue those to some cardstock and just make your own card out of these. And you've got two on the front, and then they're reversed. You can use this back side. And what I like about these is that it gives you color combinations that you can try to match with these idea sheets. Also, it gives you a picture of what they used and the colors that they use to create these images. So, and then it also gives you some products for perfect pairing. So they've recommended a embossing folder and the Craft Your Life project kit, which is another subscription, and then the lattice stencil. And then it also has a die that you can add on. Gives you instructions on how to remove the stamps from the stamp sheet and how to clean them, and also how to clean your stencils. So yeah, there is the March Garland Grace Build a Garden subscription stamp set, stencils, and brush. Okay, so we are going to pick a color combination that we like. I really like this pink and yellow. I love pink and yellow mixed together. And then I do love this violet, and looks like some blue. So let's look at our Altenew colors and kind of pick out some colors that we think are matching here. And it looks like they've got them listed here. They've got a large image, and then they've got the colors that they used listed here. I don't have a lot of Altenew's colors, but we're going to find something that works. So we know we need black. So I've got the black, and I use this VersaFine Claire Tuxedo Black, Nocturne Black. I really like this black. I have not used Altenew's black, but this is the one that I do like. And we need some pinks. And I have their color combination: Rose Quartz, Puffy Heart, Purple Wine, and Cosmic Berry. We will probably use the lighter version, which is the Rose Quartz, and maybe Puffy Heart, maybe Purple Wine. Not sure that we'll use the Cosmic Berry, but I don't know. We'll see. And then we need some yellows, which I do have their yellow combination: Fresh Lemon, Honey Drizzle, Maple Yellow, and Citrus Burst. And then we're going to need some greens. And I do have, and it looks like they have gone more to the olive colored greens, which I do not have. I have more traditional greens. It is potentially, we could use the newer inks that I have. They're using the Misty Sage, Mossy Meadow, and Opal Green, or Green Opal, which I guess we could use this Aloe Vera, Matcha Tea, Swamp Green, and Oak Moss. That would be close to the Mossy Meadow. So we'll choose those. And then we need our blue purples. So I do have some blues and I do have some purples. And we're going to use Arctic, Caribbean Sky, Perusian Blue, and Sapphire for our blues. And then our purples, we're going to use Wisteria, Hydrangea, Ultraviolet, and Andromeda. And then we're going to drag out, to hold our inks while we ink blend, we're going to use our ink stand. All right. So that is the colors that we are going to use. Now we have the stencil pack, and it also has a project card inside, and it gives you detailed instructions on how to use their stencils. So they've got the stamp set here and the stencil, and then it shows you where that stencil shades, where it blends. Then it says stencil 2. It shows you where that stencil will blend, and so on and so forth. So yeah, it shows you in big detail how to use their stencils. I think there was one other thing that I wanted to mention, but maybe it'll come to me in a minute. And on the back, it tells you how to use your stencils, how to care and clean. So what we are going to do is we're going to stamp our stamp first. Oh, let me show. I know what I was going to show you the stencils. So we've got 5 stencils. There's the outline, leaves, detail, small flowers, and then details. And what I love about their stencils and their stenciling is that once you do the first stencil, it has an etching lines. Let me see if you can see the etch lines. I think you can see it here. It helps you line your second stencil to your image that you created with your first stencil. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a landscape panel, and that panel measures 5.5 by 4 1/4. We may trim it, we may not. I do have these placement helpers from Altenew, and I've got one right here. I don't know if you can see it. I'll raise it up so you can see it. We are going to use our Stamp Wheel 2.0, and this does allow us to put in larger pieces of paper. This side comes off. So, for example, if this paper was longer and it had to hang off this edge, you could hang it off the edge and still be able to stamp with it. But we're not going to have to remove that today. And what we're going to do is use our placement guide helpers here, and just put our mat in place. This does have a sticky mat that it will stick to. And we are going to get our stamp set, and we're going to stamp with a very light ink first. And we're going to figure out where to place it. You want to be really careful taking your stamps off your stamp sheet for the first time. They are really on here. If you take it and just pull, you could possibly rip your stamp, and this will curl, and it'll make it a whole lot harder to put your stamp back. So what I do is I like to lay my stamp set down and just roll. Now we are going to place our stamp exactly where we want it. And I want a little bit of the purple flowers on here. And of course I want the larger image and a few leaves. So that looks about right. So I've got the stamp face down on where I want the stamp to be. Now, I don't use the stamp wheel too much. I've started out with my Misty, and the stamp wheel is a learning curve for me. I am going to try to hide my Misty from me so I can pull out this stamp wheel more often, because it is very fun to use. And what I have found is that sometimes you can't get this in the way it needs to go in. It's in the top is in, but the bottom is like really tight. And I think over a period of time it will get easier to place it. So what I've done is I've put a piece of tape, and that tells me that I need to put it in with that tape facing down. So now it is completely all the way in at the top, and it is completely all the way in at the bottom. So that's how I have figured out. So when you first get it, you want to, before you start stamping with it, you want to make sure that your top plate fits down into your stamp wheel. So that looks good. So I'm going to try to pick up my stamp with the top of the stamp wheel. And my paper stayed intact. And you want to make sure you have your landmarks correct every time. So I started with this little hole straight up. If I go to the side with it and place it, which it will go, then my stamp is going to be not where I wanted to place it. So you want to be very mindful of how you take your stamp out and turn it over, because you want to put it back the same way you did. So what I'm going to start doing, the first step I'm going to do is I am going to use a really light ink. And Altenew does have some gray inks, but I do like this Simon Says Stamp Fog. It's a premium dye ink. I do like to use it for this application. And what we're going to do is do what they call no line blending. And it's going to give us a faint outline of where our image is going to be. That just helps us figure out where we need to place our stencils. So I'm going to ink this up really good and put it back into my stamp wheel. And I am going to stamp with it. I do use my Chucky tool. This is my hockey paddle, my air hockey paddle that I got off of Amazon. And I'm just going to stamp this really well and make sure we got good coverage. We may have to stamp this a second time, which it looks like we do, because I think actually my fog ink pad is about dry. Okay, we're going to stamp it again. And use our air hockey paddle. They do sell those. And it's very faint. And I could probably stamp some more into the large flower. So we'll just do that right quick. And see if we can't get that one really good. And call this our last time. They do make Chucky tools to help you get your stamped a little bit better, put a little bit more pressure. But I'm all about saving money. And this was, I think, $3. But if you need an air hockey paddle for your air table, Amazon. You can get anything on Amazon. Okay, that looks really good to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave this in here because we're going to go back after we do our blending, and we are going to restamp this in that dark black ink and get a really good image. But we're going to ink blend it first. Okay, so let's take this off and leave our positioner here, and just we'll kind of wipe this ink off so we don't make a mess. And we're going to just lay this here and set it to the side. Now, I do have another sticky mat, and we're going to use that. I think I want to clean it off a little bit. And what I do is I just use water or one of these unscented, all-natural wipes, because it felt really gritty, like it had glitter or embossing powder or something stuck to it. So I want to make sure that my stencils will stick and my paper will stick to this really well. And dry it off. Yep, I think I see a little bit of glitter here. And they say you can run these under warm water with a little bit of dish soap, and let it dry, and it's supposed to help it get sticky again. See, there's even a piece of tape on there. Okay, now let's get our stencils. And stencil number 1, we've got to find our orientation. This might take a minute. Because there's layers. This first one doesn't have etching marks, so it makes it a little challenging on trying to find your landmarks. There we go. Once you find it, you want to line up your inked image up with your stenciled image. And once you're happy with it, you're going to press it down on your ink mat, your sticky mat, so it doesn't move. You can tape it if you want. If you feel like you may go too far over here with your blending brushes, then you can use these other guides to keep from making a mistake over here. Now, we're going to do a two-tone on this flower. We're going to do a little bit of fresh lemon, and we're going to do, I think, a little bit of rose quartz to start off with. So we have our brand new brush, and then I have another brush that I got last month, and it's kind of a green tint, so we're going to use that for our green. So I have a yellow brush that I use from Waffle Flower. So we're going to take a little bit of paper towel, and because I don't know what color I used on that brush last time, so I'm just going to rub it on that paper towel a little bit and get some ink, dab it off, and with a light hand, I am going to go over on this side, go to the left, go to the right, and just blend that a little bit. And then what I do is I take their idea card, their image, and just refer back to it. So it looks like they've got a little bit of yellow on the upper right of that image. So we're going to stick with what they did. Okay, so now I take my pink brush from Waffle Flower and get the pink off. And switch out my inks. So that was fresh lemon. And we're going to go to rose quartz. Get a little bit of ink there. And again, with a light hand, we'll start off the flower image and onto the stamped image. Go left and right. And you want to, what I do is I put a little bit heavier pressure on the outer edge and then blend in. And then I want to blend a little bit into the yellow so you get your secondary color, which is like a peach color. And it just makes it look absolutely gorgeous. Okay, I love it. It's going to be beautiful. Okay, now we're going to take that paper towel and just pre-clean our stencil a little bit. And we're going to go to stencil number 2. Okay, stencil number 2. It has the number 2 here. It has your etching lines. So what you want to do is find your etching lines. And you want to make sure that you can read the writing. And this has nothing to do with the big petal we just shaded. So we are going to be working on some leaves. And when you're happy with the placement, place your leaves. And we're going to switch out. We're going to use, it looks like by our image that they did, that this main color is the lighter green. So we're going to go with the lighter green combination. And I don't like how this looks up here. So we're going to adjust our stencil again. That looks good. I like that better. Okay, get our little off paper protector. Let's do matcha tea. It's not the lighter, but it is what I want to use. Okay, we're going to clean our brush. Ink up our blending brush. We're going to tap it to the side. Now these little leaves are very delicate. They're not connected to this side of the stencil. So when I have small areas that is in the stencil, I kind of want to hold it with my pokey tool so I don't lift that part of the stencil. And I'm just going to go in here really light-handedly. And then I'm going to switch my angle a little bit. Because if you lift on that stencil and get your brush underneath it, it could lift it up and color where you don't want to color, or blend where you don't want to blend. And right here I've got a really harsh line, so I kind of want to blend that out a little bit. Okay, down here all these stencils look good. There's no small area that could possibly lift. So go light-handed. You can go a little bit more pressure towards the base of the leaf. Go left and right. A little heavy-handed on the base of the leaf and blend up light. But make sure you go all the way to the edge. Okay, so there is our first layer of those leaves. Okay, I want to pre-clean my stencil, and you want to do this while the stencil's on, and because you don't want ink everywhere. It's already looking beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to do stencil 3. Stencil 3, you want to make sure it's where all the other numbers are, and you can read them. You can read. It says, I'm sorry, I called this the March Build a Garden, but this says April. So this is the April. They are already coming out with May. So this is the April Build a Garden subscription kit. And it says Altenew, April 2026 Build a Garden, and the name of this set is called Garland Grace. So I can read it. That's where I need to be. I am going to match up my etching lines. This is where you really need to use your etching lines to line up everything. And sometimes if you can't get it correct the first time, then you, like if you're looking at the top and you can't get it to the top, go to the bottom set of the leaves and try there first. And what I didn't realize is there's a line. They have actually divided the stencil instead of making an extra stencil and charging more for it because of the materials. They just drew a line telling me that these don't match up. The leaves and this flower don't match up. So you're going to do the leaves first and then come back and do the flower. All right, so that makes sense. That's why I could not get the leaves and the flower to match up. Okay, that looks good. The bottom and the top match. So this is the details for the leaves, and we're going to use a darker green. And I don't really want to use oak moss because I think it's going to be too green. So let's use swamp green. And since this is darker than the first green, we don't have to clean it off. So ink up our brush. We're going to tap off some of that ink and go a little heavy-handed at first and then blend up lightly. And you can go back and pick up that ink that you dabbed off. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to clean our stencil a little bit. Because we don't, with this one, this is the reason why we like to clean our stencil, because we have the second part, the flower. And we don't want to drag that green onto our flower. Okay, now we're going to match up our flower petal. And what I'm seeing as I lay this down is that we've got yellow up here and we've got pink down here. So we want to use those two colors again. And I'm getting really close to my panel here. So I'm definitely want to use my helper here so I don't get onto the part that I don't want to blend. All right, so we are going to use a little darker yellow, which is where it's called Honey Drizzle. I really like this. And again, our first yellow was lighter than what we're using now, so we don't have to clean our brush. Dab off and just lightly bring in your yellow. And this is all pink down here, so I don't want to put any yellow there. Just keep it at the top. Okay? We're going to bring back in our pink brush. Ooh. I do like these twisties better. And I think we're going to use, in other words, I like the twisty tops, even though sometimes you get in a hurry, than the regular tops for the inks. Okay, we're going to bring in Puffy Heart, ink up our brush, tap off, and lightly, the light hand, because we don't really need to go dark because this is a darker shade, and we're going to blend up into the yellow. Go left, go right, go left, go right. Blend up into the yellow to create that secondary color, which is the peach color that yellow and pink made. Okay. It's already looking so pretty. All right, we need to go to stencil number 4, and we get to work on the purple flowers. And again, we've got the stencil that's drawn in 3 equal parts. So we're going to have to figure out where our blooms are that they want us to shade. And this one looks like it might be here. Found it. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So now we've got a vulnerable area here. So we can take our helper and block off that area. So we've got 3 flowers here to shade. And we're going to refer back to our guide. And it looks like it's these light blue purplish colors. So we're going to use 2 colors for that. We're going to do a light blue all the way around. And I do have another new brush. And I forget we've still got this new brush. Guess we could use the blue and then use that one for purple. So we're going to ink up our blue brush and just lightly go in with our blue and lay down a base color. It's what I call a base color. Yep, looks good. Okay, and we're going to trade it out for our blue color and just do a little bit of blue or purple, and we're going to do wisteria in the centers. Nice. Love it. Okay, pre-clean our stencil. Now we're going to use this stencil again because it's got 2 more flowers. Look at that. That's looking gorgeous. And see, we were here. And we didn't use this flower. So now we need to move it up. And it looks like we might have a small area here that we don't want to ink up. Okay, we're going to do a darker blue with these flowers, I think. Yep, these purple flowers are the darker ones. Okay, and I think I may want to try to put in a little bit of blue in the centers. It'll give it that little bit of definition. Beautiful. And then I think maybe we're going to use a darker purple. Find us a smaller brush. This is, I have no clue. It doesn't have a brand name on it. So we're going to take a little bit of darker purple and just do some on the outside. Just give it a little bit of definition. Okay. Now we need to find which flowers we haven't done. And that is this one in the center. Okay, I like that. Get that pressed down, and we have all this area that needs to be covered up. And I think we're going to go ahead and go straight into this dark purple. Go light, left and right. Use some blue in the center, whatever's left on the brush, to just give it a little bit of a different color. Well, actually want to use a little bit more. Better. You know, blending can be a little time consuming, but if you take your time, you will get beautiful results. Okay, let's clean our stencil. And see how I wipe that away from my image? Because you could drag your ink over to your image. Like I think I just got some ink here, but I think we'll be all right. We may be putting our sentiment there. Kind of looks like a shadow. So far so good. All right, so now we are to stencil number 5. And there's our edge lines that we get to use. And it looks like we are going to be doing some leaves and some stems and some centers to our flowers. So match it up the best you can. That looks good. And we are going to go back to our lightest green, which was matcha tea. And I'm just going to use what's on the brush to start off with, to go lightly. There's lots of little nooks and crannies in this one, so you want to make sure that you're getting all of your stems, your leaves. And I started off light, and as my leaf goes out, the base of the leaf, I'm getting a little bit more heavier handed. This stencil too, I don't know if I said that before I placed it, is it is also broken up into several images. Okay, so we just did that one. We're going to come back and do our centers, I believe. So that one was here. This one is here. I want to get it perfect. Sorry. I want to do it right. Make it look beautiful. There we go. Do the stem and then lighter out towards the edge. Perfect. Okay, and then we have this little area. And I'm just going to use what's on the brush. And then see if I need more. And just use a little more. Perfect. Now we need to go back and do our centers. Now this one can be a little challenging depending on the stencil. And see, I got a little green, but I think we're going to do a little black to over top of that. And I think it'll be okay. It'll cover that green pretty good. That looks good right there. We may have to go back to this one right here. But we are going to use a little baby brush. And this is an Altenew number 7. And it looks like it was used with pink. But that's all right. We'll use a little black. Because 9 out of 10 times when you use these little brushes, that's what you're doing, is doing some black details. Just be real careful and only put it where you need it. Okay, now we need to find this little flower, or just make sure all our little flowers have centers, and they do, so we don't need that one. But when I'm looking at this, what I do see is some leaves right here that are not shaded. So we're going to do those right quick. That looks good. Grab a little bit more matcha tea. Love it. We'll clean our stencils when we get done. Okay, so there's our shaded panel. Now we're going to put it right back into our stamp wheel and stamp it. Stamp the details back. And then we'll make a card base, pick our sentiment, and we're done. All right, stamp wheel, where are you? Here you are. Okay, so we're going to take our panel, place it back, and we know exactly where it goes because we didn't change anything. We didn't change our stamp. We didn't change our stamp helper positioner. We did not change that at all. Okay. So here's my tape. I know my tape goes to the very top with my hole. And this is the back side. This is my stamp that I placed. We're going to use our VersaFine Clair. We're going to stamp our stamp with the ink. And I want y'all to see this. Okay, you see how the image looks now. Place it. Stamp. Get our stamp helper. Check it out, see if we need to stamp it again. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous. We take this off so you can see it without. Gave it back all the details. It's stamped absolutely perfect. Totally amazed every single time. Okay, we can use some water. You can use stamp cleaner on your positioners, but you want to make sure you take it out before you spray that stamp cleaner on it, or you can, like such as alcohol. You don't want to spray your sticky mat with alcohol because it will ruin it. Over time, it will. But the stencils you can clean with alcohol. But all your darker pigmented colors will stain. All right, so what we need to do is we need to cut a black panel for this and decide what our sentiment we're going to use, and we'll have a card ready. Okay, so what I have decided to do is cut this panel down to 5 by 4 1/4. And I am going to take the 4, cut it down to 4 from the top of the card so I don't get less of my image will be cut if I do it that way. And then I'm going to do this side over here that doesn't have much image, and I'm going to cut it down to 5 1/4. So that leaves us with this. We're going to mat it to this black panel, and I think it is 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and we're going to take off an 1/8 of an inch from it, so that is 5 3/8. And this is a thicker cardstock, so it's a little bit tougher to cut, but this Gina K trimmer is awesome. So this is 4 1/4, so we're going to do it at 4 1/8. So there's just a teensy tiny little black perimeter around. Okay, so I mounted my panel with my Sweet Petunia glue press. Absolutely love that. And I've picked this color here. I have no clue what it is. It's from my stash, probably an old Stampin' Up color, because I'm still working through my Stampin' Up colors. So we are going to trim this in half at 5 1/2 with our Gina K trimmer. Put this back in our stash. Get out our score buddy, and we are going to score this at 4 1/4. And fold it backwards. You want the bump inside, and we are going to crease our card base, and then we are going to glue this panel onto our card base. Love the glue press. Love it, love it. You have to get one. Makes it much easier. It does clog, but it only takes a second, and you can cap it when you're not using it. I don't cap it. That's why it clogs on me. Okay, so there's that. Now we need to get back the stamp set and decide what sentiment we're going to use. And this looks like a beautiful thank you card. So I think we are going to just simply stamp thank you. And we are going to use our Stamp Wheel 2.0. We're just going to clean our stamp off a little bit. We'll come back and really give it a good clean and clean our mess up in just a moment. We're just going to pre-clean that just a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to put our card in the corner. That way if it moves, we can put it back. And we are going to put our thank you and nestle it right here. Pick up our stamp. We're going to use our nice dark black. Make sure we got our tape at the top, our hole at the top. Place it and stamp. and go really easy. Check it. It looks perfect. It looks perfect. Okay. And now we are going to, I've got some real pretty sequins here. Let me see if I can figure out where those come from. They are probably a Simon Says stamp mix, which I can't find them right now, but they probably are. So what we're going to do is we're going to place about 5 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and put my glue where I want my little jewels. I have a Gina K pickup stick. Has a piercing on one side and a wax tip on the other. And we are going to just place our little sequins. These are flat sequins, no hole, which I love. And I've got a little mix of different colors in here, which I think will be pretty cool. They don't all have to be the same. And there you go. There's our card for today using our Altenew products. Thank you so much for watching my video today. I sure do appreciate you. I had a lot of fun making this card, and I love ink blending. It is so relaxing, so fun to take a blank piece of paper and end up making a card like this. It's absolutely gorgeous. I would be thrilled if I got a card like this. So like, subscribe, and use my affiliate link. If you like this subscription, it comes every month to your door. You're not going to be disappointed when you get it. And just sign up. If you like the stamp set, it comes out the following month. So you still can get it. You don't have to subscribe. But if you do, you can cancel anytime. Anyway, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching my video. See y'all on the next time. Bye. I hope you enjoyed my video. If you look in the 2 corners up top, I have chosen 2 more for you to watch. Please like and subscribe to my channel. See you soon.